good to go.
I was in New York for the whole month of June. I woke up a couple mornings, it was 45 degrees.
All right, good evening, everybody. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Got a big crowd for Friday at 5. All right. Any changes to the agenda from council? Nothing? Easy enough. Presentations, we have the Space Coast Transportation Planning Organization, also known as TPO, Georgiana Gillette, Executive Director.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. It's great to see you all. I'm Georgiana Gillette, Director of the Space Coast TPO, and we're going on a council tour to reintroduce myself. I know there's been a lot of turnover on council, and so it's quite an honor, and thank you for your time this evening. Next slide. Thank you for advancing the slides, by the way. All right, who is the Space Coast TPO? Next slide. So we serve as your metropolitan planning organization under both federal and state law for Brevard County. And what that means is we plan, prioritize, and fund transportation projects with state and federal funds. So to achieve that, we have to work very closely with the Florida Department of Transportation, our local governments like yourself, and our modal agencies, ensuring that we're planning regionally. Our governing board consists of 19 members, elected officials, all 5 of the county commissioners, 13 city council members, and a port commissioner. And of course, we're the local voice in transportation planning. Councilmember Foy serves on the governing board, and I can tell you she represents you very well, not only Indialantic, but the South Beaches Coalition, and so we very much appreciate her leadership. We continually monitor the conditions of the transportation system. We have an extensive traffic count database. We keep track of congestion, crashes, and trends among all modes because we need to know where the problems are. Next slide. And I don't think I need to tell you, we like to call ourselves quinti-modal, 5 modes of transportation: air, sea, space, rail, and highways, which includes non-motorized pedestrian and bicycle. So we have to think about transportation as a comprehensive system of ways that things and people move around. Next slide. Our long-range transportation plan, which we update every 5 years, is the cornerstone for all transportation investments using state and federal funding. It lays out our goals and objectives, and it's really our vision. Who do we want to be when we grow up? So we work with our local partners, and we forecast people and goods throughout 2050 to ensure that we've got the road network that is going to support the transportation system and that will meet our mobility needs for the next 20 years. The plan must be cost feasible, and that means there has to be revenue that we can reasonably anticipate. But we also have a needs list, which is kind of our wish list. Next slide. This is a planning bridge, which just really serves to illustrate our various work products, the long-range plan. From there, we put projects on our priority list. We hand that over to the DOT, and they fund as many projects as they can with state and federal funding. Once a project or a phase of a project gets funded, it goes into the DOT work program, and then subsequently our transportation improvement program, which we call the TIP. Next slide. The TIP lists 110 projects accounting for $1.2 billion for our county over the next 5 years. And it will be adopted at the July 13th board meeting on Monday by the governing board members. These are real funds on real projects that really will enhance our quality of life, safety, economic development for our residents. Florida has estimated for every dollar invested in the work program, it yields an average of $4.26 of personal and business benefits. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to talk about just really 3 projects real quick. Next slide. And the first one's going to be Ellis Road. I think a lot of folks really want to hear the latest on Ellis. This is the widening from 2 to 4 lanes from John Roads to Wickham, the gateway to our international airport in Melbourne. I'm happy to say that it is fully funded. The early clearing and grubbing contract, which was a separate contract, is complete. It will have a raised, separated median with sidewalk, buffered bike lanes. There is a lot of drainage and utility work. So it's a big project. The contract was awarded to Massey Construction, and it is going to be a 2.5-year contract, which is a long time, and so needless to say, it's going to be painful. But as with all transportation projects of that size, we do have to go through some pain until we get to the end. But hopefully it will be smooth. The DOT, the FDOT is managing it, even though it is a county road. That's how important this project is. Next slide. And I want to touch on 2 more, State Road 528 6-laning and the 401 bridge replacement just down the road. 401 bridge at Port Canaveral involves replacing the 1965 bascule bridges over the barge canal with this high-level fixed span that's going to tie down at 528, at the 528 interchange. The bridge provides access to, of course, to national defense facilities, spaceport, cruise terminals for, basically the world's busiest cruise port now. The design is underway. The design is on the shelf, I should say, awaiting full construction funding. Right-of-way acquisition is underway, and the only right-of-way that is needed is really for stormwater. So it's moving forward, but unfortunately, the project is very expensive. Between both segments of 528 east of Industry to State Road 3 and State Road 3 to the port, as you can see, you're talking about some very, very big numbers there. So 528 and 401, they're really tied together, but they can go independently. But these are very big projects that are very important for our mobility, and we hope that we can work with the department and our partners to see how we can move these projects forward. Okay, next slide. So I'm just going to talk real quick about some challenges. One issue is that we do not have enough federal, state, and local funds to meet our transportation demand. Gas taxes, which are a user fee, are the main source of funding for highway projects. If you don't drive, you don't pay. The federal gas tax hasn't been raised since 1992. In 1992, Seinfeld and Home Improvement were the top television shows, just to let you know how long ago that was. And, we have more fuel-efficient cars. Electric vehicles don't pay any gas tax. So construction and right-of-way costs have really skyrocketed. We have increased growth in jobs and population. We're growing. All of Florida is growing. Central Florida is growing, but Brevard is growing. So more financial resources really need to be brought into the picture on all levels, not the other way around. Next slide. This was our financial aha moment when we were developing the long-range plan, the current plan that we just adopted in December. Comparing our last long-range plan to the one that we just adopted, we have $700 million less to work with. $2 billion, over $2 billion in needs out there. So unfortunately, we can only fund 9% of our projects in the work program. And I'm just referring to state and federal. I'm not talking about on the local side. And so that was definitely very alarming for the board members and for the committees. Next slide. So I'll end on something positive, opportunities. On the other side of the coin, we do have a lot of opportunities with the advancement of new technologies and innovations. We often talk about how to improve our roads, but how do we utilize them better? Having a 21st century regional traffic management center will allow you to squeeze more capacity, improve operations and safety on the fly in real time. So it integrates intelligent transportation system, connecting your signals to control and monitor signals using all of the technologies available. So having operators and the brain power to monitor and make sure our signals are working and can make real-time changes. It's going to be a game changer. This is happening right now through a partnership with FDOT. The new TMC is under construction. It's just off the Pineda, just next to Holy Trinity School. And we're really excited about it. We've been investing in ITS with over 500 connected signals already, but we have a lot more to do, and this is really going to be very important because we can't keep widening roads. We don't have the right-of-way or the money to do it in the future. The other thing I want to mention, Orlando and Tampa airports are exploring how to integrate advanced air mobility using electrical vertical takeoff landing aircraft to carry passengers and cargo. It's drones. It's really the age of flying cars. This is a private venture, but the DOT wants to be a leader. And so they are really assisting the private sector so that Florida can step out in front ahead of California or another state. And so this is something that the department thinks within 10 years that we would have those flying Ubers around in development. So we will see, time will tell. And then I'll end on a new mode of transportation that we are hoping will stop here in Brevard County is the Cocoa Station. We are anxiously awaiting from a notification from FRA on the grant, Federal State Partnership for Intercity Passenger Rail. We've been working on this for about a decade. And we think that this application is the best, and it shows to the federal government what their return on investment is going to be. And that location in Brevard County makes a lot of sense. So we feel good about it any day now, and we will go from there. And then the very last slide, just want to say, thank you for your time and your leadership. We are the Space Coast, and we strive to be all of these things: connected, futuristic, multimodal, safe, and resilient as well. But thank you so much for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Y'all have any questions? My only question is, we have 101 road signs on Fifth Avenue that
Is it?
That's reduced.
that
Or what?
FDOT put there. Do you have any influence or a screwdriver or anything to remove them?
We, as Michael will tell you, we work with FDOT every day, just like our local governments. When it comes to signage and engineering, we don't always have influence over that. We ask, and they, will tell you reasons why certain things need to be there. But I'm assuming that this has been talked about with DOT and
Has it?
many times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I wonder, I go down too far, geek out, but for the intelligent traffic system with managing lights across the county, is that tying into the city lights and ones that are run through different agencies, or how does that get aggregated?
Typically, Brevard County manages a lot of the lights, depending on which roadways, even on state roads. And so there is an interlocal agreement between FDOT and Brevard County. And so it really depends on the location and whether there is fiber in the road or if they're using some sort of Bluetooth signal.
Right.
So we'll be developing a new updated ITS master plan that really kind of updates all of the locations with the department and Brevard County and our local agencies to kind of determine, okay, what's next? What are the priorities? Where do we need to invest? But Brevard County is the main manager of that, but not, Melbourne does some, and I think Palm Bay does, and Titusville as well.
I think Melbourne manages ours, right?
We had ours, we were responsible for, we contracted with the county, but we turned that responsibility over to them 2 years ago.
Yes.
So we no
okay.
longer have anything to do with traffic lights.
Okay.
I knew we didn't, but I just didn't remember who,
Yeah.
it was county or city.
The county wanted to take it over, and FDOT paid us less than we were paying to maintain them,
Right, right.
which is typical FDOT.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we have public comments for non-agenda items. Persons wishing to address the town council on a matter not listed on the agenda may speak at this time. Speakers must provide their name and address, observe a 3-minute time limit, and speak only after being recognized by the mayor. I have 3 cards here. We'll start with Kitty since she has an open garage door.
Nobody's there to close it.
All right. Kitty Lowe, 411 3rd Avenue. Okay. So I wanted to bring to your attention that the Indy Yard had another outdoor event Saturday, June 27th, which required participants to buy tickets. An event included 4 separate Pilates gym classes at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And there were also vendors, don't know if that has anything to do with it, but the event was very loud. It just got so loud that we had to call the police officers, and at some point it was so loud that we called the police and had to do it a couple times. But we only saw 1 police report. So I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. And the police officer went over there, and he had to go back over there because they didn't turn the noise down. And I do want to play you a little sample of the noise that we had to listen to for 4+ hours. So, and I'm not sure if, and I don't know that I need to even put it up to the microphone. And I could hear this from the street, easy. My neighbor heard it from his backyard, across the street. Sorry, guys. Our backyard, every day. All right, I'm gonna spare you the rest. Okay, so, we've been dealing with this for over 1.5 years now. We're hoping the town is gonna look into this deeper and that we get some resolution from this situation soon. So everybody knows that Pilates is a gym exercise, and that is not permitted in an RP zone. And for this to go on much longer is really, I have here the ordinance that says no noise level from operations shall be negligible, no noise or vibration resulting from or in connection with the use shall be permissible from any part of any resident district. The use shall not be otherwise detrimental, objectionable, or annoying to the owners or occupants of nearby residents, so the properties. So I'm hoping that we can get this handled soon. All right. I
All right.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Carla? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carla Rodiger, 601 North Miramar, Unit 302. So thank you again. I and many others have filed formal complaints trying to get the town to enforce the ordinance to limit the number of seats and parking at the Blue Beach. There continues to be an ongoing traffic and safety issues. There is too much traffic involved in too small of a business. So the town issued a violation notice to Blue Beach on the on-site parking. Then the town passed a 100-day moratorium on parking enforcement, but that was over 400 days ago. So I want to know what action is the town taking and why is it taking so long? The goal is not to shut down the business, but for it to be properly sized in terms of seating and parking as regulated by Indialantic town ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Cecilia Trotter.
Hi, good evening. My name is Cecilia Trotter. I live at 107th Avenue here in Indialantic. I've been a homeowner for 23 years and a full-time resident for 8 years now. I've been teaching in our public schools for 19 years, and I'm currently teaching over at Discovery Elementary in Palm Bay. I just came here to introduce myself because I'm running for school board for District 5, which also includes Indialantic. I decided I wanted to serve my community in a different way instead of in the classroom. And I'm trying to prioritize 3 main things on our school board, and that's protect our funding. We need to promote our public schools. We have so many wonderful public schools, especially beachside, and a lot of our families aren't even aware of them. Right now we have, last year, I think we had something like 7,000 students unenrolled in our public schools, so we need to find out why are students leaving our public schools. And so that's something that I would like to work on as a school board member. And I also want to improve, I'd like to improve our relationships with our families, our students, and especially our teachers. Florida has the lowest paid teachers in the whole United States, and I think we can do better for our teachers. Our students deserve it. So that's all I had said, and I'll be here for after the meeting if anybody has any questions or concerns that they'd like to bring to me. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. All right, Shannon Bittner.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you again. I own 404. Am I? Say your name and address. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. Thank you. Shannon Pittner. Do you want my home address or the business address? Whatever's in. 404 North Miramar Avenue is my business, Nautilus Wealth Advisors. I spoke to you all shortly ago, and I am back because I have not seen any change at all. My office is directly across from this BB bar lodging place, and my conference room window is on the front of the building, and I watch all day long the near misses that are happening. I understand that we've had 2 accidents. Nobody has died that I'm aware of, and perhaps we've had more accidents because the trucks come, the tractor-trailer trucks. Today it was Gordon. Often it's Cisco or Cheney Brothers. They park either in the turn lane right in front of my office where we have a hard time getting in and out, or they'll park on the north right lane. Today, Gordon was on the right lane on the sidewalk, halfway in the street and halfway on the sidewalk. Of course, that makes an obstacle for everyone trying to get in and out of Starbucks or any of the other businesses. On our garbage pickup days, there are 10, 11, 12 cans there. They obstruct the view of the people trying to get out. When they're trying to go south, they have to pull out into the northbound lane to look around these cans to see if they can get to the turn lane to get across. As I said to you the last time I was here, someone is going to die. I'm not asking you for anything special. I'm asking you just to enforce the code for this town. And it's impossible to think that somebody might have to die before something would be done about this. I'm watching it daily, and the near misses are frightening. I'm coming to you because I care, and I hope it's not me. I hope it's not one of my clients, because we're right in this traffic flow. And I'm begging you, please, enforce the codes that we have in this town to protect our citizens and protect our property. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other non-agenda item? Nothing? All right. Moving on, we have public announcements. There are openings on the following boards and committees: Civil Service, Heritage Committee, Parks, Recreation, and Beautification Committee. The qualifying period for the 2026 election cycle starts August 6, 2026 at noon and ends August 13, 2026 at noon. Please call or email the town clerk for qualifying packets. Consent agenda. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. All,
Can I make a comment, please?
yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, you go first.
Oh, well, I don't have it pulled up, but there is some date discrepancy in there, if it matters. It's the $50,000 for the lighting. It says for fiscal year 2025. I don't think that would be accurate.
In the resolution for the fund balance?
I got it right here.
Oh,
Good catch, Julie. Boop, boop.
Yeah, let me find that. Or you should say, can you pull that one, we'll discuss that real quick?
yeah. So,
We'll go ahead and pull, so I'll amend the motion to approve the consent agenda, pulling item number 3.
all right,
Carrie
is
had
there a
another-
second?
Carrie had another.
I did. I'm totally okay with reapproving the appointments for the zoning and planning members and the Board of Adjustments. I look at the attendance, because that's in our packet, and we're looking at like 50% and sometimes less than 50% attendance on these boards. And I think I just want to stress, thank you for participating in these boards to help our town. I know it's a volunteer position, but if you're going to do it, do it. I mean, come to the meetings, and everybody's going to miss a few meetings, but less than 50% participation, I just want to say, try to do better.
So would you not want to approve anybody on the list?
No, I'm okay with approving. I just want us to try to do better.
Gotcha.
I think we spoke of it too before, and I couldn't, because I feel the same way, and I couldn't recall what we said resolved, how we resolved it, because this is the second time,
Well, the one that missed all of the meetings
Yeah.
was not, we didn't recommend
Okay.
the approval, which was something different than these. But I know zoning and planning is really important for this town, so for people to be there, and I know we have a couple of alternates for zoning and planning, so I appreciate that. I just come, if you're gonna make the commitment to be on these boards, come to the meetings.
Very fair statement. Mike, did you find?
I found it, if you didn't find it.
Well, we can approve the
Yeah.
3 items out of the 4, and then just
So you
separately.
amended the motion. Did we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, so all those in favor of approving the consent agenda with item number 3 pulled, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, unanimous, and
That was a typo, it should be 2026
Yeah, and again,
in there, and I'll correct it if you want to modify it, and I'll print it out for you to sign and stuff. It was just a typo, carrying it over. It's based on the 2025 audit.
So, yeah, there's a 26 as a whereas for the resurfacing of South Palm, there's a whereas for the resurfacing of North Palm, but that's fiscal year 27, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and then it's the whereas, 250,000 for stormwater pipes for the 500 block of Watson and 400 block of Genesee in fiscal year 26, not 25. Is that correct? Just down near the bottom of that page, page 1 of the resolution.
Page 1, I'm sorry, hold on.
Well, unless there's another one down, there's another one down on page 2.
Which one was that one?
third from the bottom.
There's 250,000 for stormwater in Watson and Genesee.
Okay, yeah, that's true, those two should be,
20, that should be 26.
so yeah, if you modify that at 26, I'm going through it right now,
Okay. And then,
first tab is 26.
and 50,000 for uplighting to
Yeah.
Fifth Avenue median.
With the two changes of those 2 dates of 20 and going through the rest here. Yep.
Okay. Which one is it besides the stormwater? The uplighting on
The
Fifth
uplighting.
Avenue. First item on page 2.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
So yeah, with this modification, sorry about that.
Was, in page 3, it says section 2, resolution 9, 2025 is hereby repealed. Is that supposed to be resolution 9, 2026?
No, because this is resolution 2026.
No, I understand. I just make sure that 25 is correct.
Yeah, repealed, that's a correct one being repealed.
Okay.
It gets confusing when you're like, I'm floating, we're working on 27 budget, we're working on this based on a 25 audit, and then putting things, we have to include things in here that are still funded, like that's why the fire truck was in here and things, because it's part of the 26 budget. So,
All All right. So is there a motion to approve item 3 from the consent agenda with the,
There's two changes from 2025 to 2026 for the storm water and for the uplighting.
okay, so is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to amend Resolution 10 to 2026.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor of approving item number 3 from the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Ordinances public hearing. This is the ordinance 2026-08, second reading, final public hearing relating to definitions used in the town's noise ordinance. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 22-31 of the Indialantic Code of Ordinances relating to the definitions used in the town's noise ordinances, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 2026-08.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Is there any discussion from council?
Just confirming, we didn't make any changes on the first reading. We approved it, and there's been no changes for the second reading.
Correct.
No comments from me. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? Good. And this is the definitions. All right. Any public comment relating to definitions of the new noise ordinance? All right. Easy enough. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-08, this is the second and final public hearing relating to definitions used in the town's ordinance, noise ordinance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. That passes unanimously. So ordinance 2026-09, second reading, final public hearing relating to prohibition of a noise disturbance and providing for a noise violation based on a plainly audible standard. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 22-34 of the Indialantic Code of Ordinances relating to the prohibition of a noise disturbance and providing for a noise violation based on a plainly audible standard, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 2026-09.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any comments from council?
And I'll just add, there were no changes to this one after the first reading either.
That was just my thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
That was going to be my question, just to confirm. That was my recollection as well. So this is just the,
You've done a good job on this, Matt.
Thank you.
plainly audible, okay.
Yeah. And I'll say it again for people who are just tuning in. Plainly audible sounds vague, but it is actually a widely used legal standard. Nothing from council?
I do not have any questions or comments, no.
All right. Public comment? Easy enough. All right. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-09 relating to the prohibition of a noise disturbance and providing for a noise violation based on a plainly audible standard, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, moving on. Ordinance 2026-10, second reading, final public hearing relating to certain activities being exempt from a noise disturbance. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 22-35 of the Indialantic Code of Ordinances relating to certain activities being exempt from being a noise disturbance, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 2026-10.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any comment from council?
No changes.
No changes after the first reading on this one.
This is just the exempted ones, so freedom of speech, obviously, fireworks, thankfully. So, no comments, thanks.
All right, public comment. Carla, I have a note from you. Did you want to?
I think on 4.
4 is the special events. Okay. All right. Any other public comment? Nothing. All right. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-10 relating to certain activities being exempt from being a noise disturbance, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. Moving along, ordinance 2026-11, second reading, final public hearing. First reading, public hearing relating to the application for and issuance of a permit for special events on private and public property. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 22-57, 22-58, and 22-59 of the Indialantic Code of Ordinances relating to the application for and issuance of a permit for special events on a private and public property, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance, as you just read it, number 2026-11.
Second. All right. Any public or any comment from council?
There was a minor change based on Doug's comment. It read must be 30 calendar days in between each special event, and it was changed to must be a minimum of 30 calendar days between to clarify that. And Mike, I think you had a comment as well on this?
Yeah, we discussion in staff and everything with everything that's going on and some feedback from residents, which I reluctantly said I would do the special events. I prefer not to, and I think they all should go before council based upon some of the comments and everything. That way it does come out front and the public has a right to speak about it and stuff, because I'm not gonna send an email out, hey, what do we think before this happens? But this is a public event where people can speak about it. So we're moving number 3, where it says a permit for a special event may be approved by the town manager or by a public simple majority of the council at a property noticed regular meeting or a special meeting. So I just think approved, take out to be approved by the town manager, that point, and just by a simple majority vote of the town council.
Comment from council?
So to clarify, it can be us or you?
No, right now it can be. I would rather be taken out of the equation.
So it would change from as it's,
Well, so currently with the current ordinance, it has to come through council. The current,
Yeah,
for after the first reading, the new ordinance, as it's currently drafted, would allow the town manager to approve.
Right, but he wants to be removed, so it would stay as it is now and come to council.
so as it reads on here, though, it would change.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd have to update the wording, yes, correct.
And Matt, this would not be a significant change?
No, this is something that would not, this would be fine to change. And it does change, the other big change to this, and it's not a change between first and second reading, but just a change of the ordinance in general is, if you recall, it was all melded together where it was both special events on private property and public property, and we separated it out into 2 different ordinances. And then we took out the sound amplification aspect and just said a special event as opposed to a special event with sound amplification. So, yes, if we wanted to take out that the town manager can approve it, and just leave in that it has to be by a simple majority vote of the town council, then that would not be a significant change, and that could go forward at second reading, and it would become effective after that.
Quiet, please. Okay, so any other public comment, or council?
I mean, I'm fine with removing it. Obviously, it doesn't require the town manager to approve it. He could just defer and shift it to council if that's what we desired, to keep the wording as it is. So at least operational, that's how I see it could go if that's we left it in there. So.
Anything else?
I respect what you're thinking. I mean, it was kind of on the fence, everybody. And I think, Mark, you had pointed out that the whole idea was to, it would give the businesses a little more leeway on, let's say, instead of waiting until a council meeting, they could go ahead and have an event. But I understand, and I think that just means the businesses have to plan ahead.
Yeah, I mean, right now it does say at least the businesses shall obtain the permit at least 60 days prior to the event.
Is it 60?
That's what it says in item 1. This is specific to special events on public property.
Okay. Yeah, the private property is 30 days.
And that's a separate, is that in this one or that's the next one, right?
It's all one ordinance, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it is?
it's all one ordinance, but
I just have
two
to scroll-
sections
or I
in the
just scroll
code.
Further,
Yeah.
sorry.
Private property is 30 days.
Okay. And does that have to go to council?
Yes, well,
Yes.
that's what Mike is requesting, that he. be
Oh,
removed.
sorry, fair enough. Got it.
It gives time, the 30 days, in case
Got it.
somebody comes in tomorrow or Monday and turns in a special event permit. Usually we can make the meeting and stuff. We've had people like try to turn in for this weekend already. Actually, this was a special event that got turned down. They're coming on
So
a
we-
Friday.
So we would need to change both, in both private and public property to remove the town manager as an option to approve, as opposed to, and just have it directed to town council for either type of special event.
Well, I believe, as the new ordinance reads, that for a public property special event, that it does have to be approved by the town council. It's only for the private property that,
Oh.
as it reads now, the town manager can approve it.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Sure.
It would just make it consistent across all properties for special events.
I read and received probably the same emails, maybe not all the same feedback, but certainly I understand the concerns with residents. And,
Okay. Y'all good with it? All right, so do we need another motion with?
Yeah, so are we taking out the may be approved by the town manager or
That's what
leaving it
sounds
in?
like, right? We're taking it out, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
do we need a new motion?
Yeah, I would do a motion to, with the amended language, yeah.
Okay, so is there a motion for that?
I'll revise the motion, hold on, I gotta look at the number here. To approve ordinance 2026-11 with the modified language to require town council approval for, sorry, blanked out.
And to delete the language that reads may be approved by the town manager?
Yes, sorry.
Private property special.
I'm a public property, private property, brain did disconnect. Yes.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, so we're done with comment. All right, public comment. Carla?
Thank you. Carla Rodiger, 601 North Miramar, Unit 302. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm sure the town manager appreciates changing it, as do the residents of Indialantic, about the special events, who has the right to approve special events. The new proposed ordinance also allows 6 special events per year. Each can be 2 days long and for 6 hours each day. Because there are a high number of residential units nearby, I believe the limit should be the same as special events on public property, which is 2 per year. 6 doesn't make it seem very special. And the new special events ordinance also does not contain any limits on the noise generated. I believe that there needs to be a limit on the volume of music. I totally believe that the volume would get way out of control at 501 North Miramar. It does allow the chief of police or the town manager to revoke the permit, but if it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, I don't think either person would be available to revoke the permit. So I wish and please ask that you add a liberal but enforceable volume limit on private property for special events. Thank you.
Thank you. Whitney?
Excuse me, real quick. You do understand that chief of police is on call 24/7? You do understand that, right?
Yeah.
They've been called before and nothing has happened, so.
Nothing to your satisfaction? Just to be clear. Thank you.
So that's just how the ordinance reads.
Whitney?
Hi, Whitney Bob at 142 11th Avenue. My only comment is on taking out the ability to have Mr. Casey approve these special requests. I do believe that there are certain use cases by certain businesses that pop in very quickly and do require approval within a fairly short amount of time, that the ones that I've seen so far are very easy to approve and don't really require the council's time. So that's my only comment, and I'm speaking about a particular business that has events that pop up based on people calling up and scheduling them. So if they schedule them within 2 or 3 weeks from the time somebody calls, how do they get approved?
I mean, I guess it would, if it works out with the town council meetings, you know, it would have to come to that, but, Mike, I don't know, you have any input on that?
My point is that they're not even applying by what the ordinance currently are, this business is not, who you're referring to, and they just need to set up a schedule of 30 days in advance so they can get this turned in.
So what would be the current turnaround time with this new change if you have a special event, 30 days?
It has to go before council, so yes, if they happen to get it in sooner, a week before the council agenda goes out, we put them in there. There's been events that business and other business have put in that have come in like, 10 days before the event, and they've gone through council. Okay. It's all getting on the council agenda. If somebody comes in Monday, that's the whole problem. The next council meeting is not till.
It sounds like there's like a 7-day period prior to the council meeting.
Probably a 10-day.
10-day, that it's probably not going to make it on the council agenda. Anything else?
That's reasonable, and these are non-complicated events too. We're not talking about a Long Doggers event,
Right.
at the park there. We're talking about
So like
things.
if you apply tomorrow, it's going to be on next month, assuming the event is after the next meeting, so.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Public comment? All right. So, all those in favor, I got to find the number here, of approving,
If you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, I did want to have a quick conversation, just a recap with regards to noise during the special events. So, educate me again on how the process goes with that, and what as it's currently written, what the restrictions are.
On noise?
Noise specifically as it applies to special events.
Well, ordinarily you'd have the noise disturbance. You start from there. Any noise that's plainly audible is going to be a noise disturbance. And then we carved out the exceptions, and the exceptions were one of the exceptions was the 1 day a week during the specific hours. And then on top of that, we then have for both private property and public property, the special events. And the special events, looking through here,
Matt, while you're looking,
Yep.
I guess the larger question is, do the special events permits is that an exception to the noise ordinance? So in other words, if I was to have a special event, could I just blast my music? And I know the answer, but I think, just for the public's knowledge and satisfaction, that if you have a special event, that doesn't give you carte blanche to violate the noise ordinance, correct?
Correct. And there also are limitations on the time period too. Between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. on any day of the week. No more than 2 consecutive days.
It's not rocket science.
Only for 6 consecutive hours on any given day.
And then what level of, plainly audible or otherwise is as a special event allow? I know typically when, for instance, the Long Doggers special event, the agenda had the fact that they're gonna do amplified sound because they're gonna have musical acts. We've attended those events, but
Let's see, just looking through here.
obviously that's a public venue, so it's only twice a year.
Produces or reproduces any noise that's plainly audible on an adjoining property or neighboring property without first obtaining a permit for a special event. See how these are read together here. What's the other one?
Just trying to understand.
No, yeah, I
Because
understand.
I know that special event allows the exception to the plainly audible standard.
Correct.
For the hours of the special event as approved on the permit. I'm just
Correct.
trying to understand to what extent it allows.
Right.
And I don't know that we have any language that clarifies what that is.
I think that's what I'm looking for, and I think that's correct. I think you're right. Because it has it for what it would ordinarily be for a noise disturbance.
Right.
And then it has it what it is for the exceptions. But I think that might be correct. I think there might not be a limitation on the noise specifically for special events, and maybe that is something that we need to add into that.
Well, how would we add that? I mean, like, what, for an example, off the top of your head, what would you think? Because we're not doing decibels, right?
Right.
I mean, I think naturally,
We're not doing distance.
right, we're not doing distance. I think naturally, this,
Well, in the rest of the ordinance, in the other ordinance, we talk about plainly audible from an adjoining property, which is one that shares a property line, versus a neighboring property, which is one that doesn't share a property line. We could limit it to plainly audible on an adjoining property. That way, it kind of limits the noise, how far it can travel to an adjoining property as opposed to a neighboring property. But yeah, I do think there probably does need to be something in there about some sort of limitation on the noise level.
well, I guess my question is, why would we have that for the special event, but not the regular noise ordinance, the 2 hours a week,
Why would we not have?
a limit on that?
What's permitted in the
Right, so,
regularly occurring?
as I understand it, you have adjoining and neighboring.
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
You can make noise as long as it doesn't go beyond.
That's the exception for the 1 day a week during that 7-week period, or during that 7-day period. The exception is emanating from any property located in the C, C1, C2, SC, or T zoning districts onto an adjoining property, but not onto a neighboring property. That's the noise limitation
Right, but for 2 hours
for 2 hours.
a week, it can go beyond the adjoining.
No, that is the exception. It reads, on no more than 1 day during a 7-day week period, beginning on a Sunday and ending on a Saturday, noise such as live music, recorded music, or the spoken word emanating from any property located in the C, C1, C2, SC, or T zoning districts onto an adjoining property, but not onto a neighboring property, is permitted for a single consecutive 2-hour period on the following days and times. And then it goes through Monday through Thursday, Friday through Saturday, Sunday. And so the limitation on the noise is governed by the fact that you can hear it on an adjoining property, but it's limited. It wouldn't go onto a neighboring property.
I misunderstood that part. I was thinking the 2 hours you could do onto,
Additionally, yeah, more than that, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Can I make another comment?
in a little bit. Yeah, hold on. We'll get to you, Whitney. Yeah, so what are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking for the public property events, which are typically larger and more noisy and less recurring, I think those are not what we're discussing. Correct? I mean, or maybe that's, in my mind, that's what we're discussing, is the more numerous private property special events that could occur, and then what would we be looking to limit? It would be beyond what the normal, threshold is for plainly audible, but would extend that, but would still provide a limit, such that it would be consistent with the recurring once a week, 2 hours.
So the
On
limitation,
the neighboring, but not onto,
or the adjoining, but not.
adjoining, but not neighboring.
Yeah.
That would provide some level of limitation that could be enforceable at the discretion of, the police department.
Julie, you got anything?
My head's spinning.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Because I'm trying to think of what is, like, let's take public property, so Nance Park. What has been in place that governs when Long Doggers has their bash? They're allowed to be as loud as they're supposed to, or what
I hear them
language?
at my house, and I'm
Yeah,
Right.
I hear
But
them
what-
on Eighth.
But what language do we currently have?
There's no language.
And is that
currently.
language carrying over?
Right.
There's no.
So they apply for the permit, they get the amplified music or loud,
Right.
special event.
it's loud.
Okay, but that's like more isolated. So then,
That's
Doug, what-
that's the public property,
Right.
which we're, in my mind, that's not what we're discussing.
right, but is
Saying
that,
the public property continues on largely as it has been over the last decade and more,
Right.
Okay,
at least in my mind, in
right,
terms of how we're handling it.
right. So then, for the public, or I'm sorry, for the private property, there's no specific allowance, was what, I think what Doug, you're trying to say, is you want to have maybe some parameters,
Some kind of limitation.
so that it's not just,
So that special events permit is not used to circumvent the noise ordinance. Is
Right.
what, is that what I'm hearing? That you don't want the special events permit to circumvent the current noise ordinance?
We want, so the question that came up is, in the event that you have a special event, specifically on private property, but more broadly across all of them,
Okay.
is there a limit to the noise that can be generated? And currently, as written, there is no wording in the ordinance. of
Right,
what the
so,
limit is.
so in other words, in like plain English, you don't want the special events permit to circumvent the noise ordinance.
I'm just asking the question if we have anything in there that would limit it, or if we.
We have the noise ordinance.
Right now, that it allows for it to circumvent, it allows for the
Oh, it
noise
does,
ordinance
so-
not to apply.
Okay. Matt, is that correct?
During a
Yeah,
special event.
there might be a simple way to deal with this.
Thank you.
The, in the private property special event portion, it reads currently that other than in accordance with the exceptions listed in section 2235, which is the 1 day a week, no person or any shall exchange or shall engage in any activity on a parcel of private property that produces or reproduces any noise that is plainly audible on an adjoining property or a neighboring property in these districts without first obtaining a permit for a special event. Now, what we did with the exception was we said that 1 day a week, you can have noise for 2 consecutive hours, but it can only be so loud that it affects an adjoining property, but not a neighboring property. And for circumstances here, Mark would be an adjoining property, Doug would be a neighboring property. And if we took out the language here that produces or reproduces any noise that's plainly audible on an adjoining property or a neighboring property, if we just took out the or a neighboring property in the special event ordinance, that would limit whatever the noise would be to the adjoining property. It would be the same as the exception, the once a week exception. If that's, I mean, the once a week exception allows the noise, again, to be to the adjoining property, but not to the neighboring property. And if we took out that language, any noise that's plainly audible on an adjoining property or a neighboring property, if we just took out the or a neighboring property, I think that would provide a limitation on the level of noise without getting into decibels and things like that.
I think that's reasonable, but that's my opinion.
John?
So my opinion is, you've got a young police officer out there trying to enforce a noise ordinance and trying to parse all these legal terms. I think if we just understand that we have a noise ordinance, right? And that we can't circumvent it by this special events ordinance, that's it, right there. It can't be circumvented by putting a special events ordinance in. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Gary?
Well, a special event is exactly that. So I think it's fair to give certain allowances that aren't governed by the newly adopted noise ordinance. So I would be okay with letting them go louder. I mean, we have to be reasonable. I mean, this is a small town. So I'm okay with letting them get loud. I mean, Long Doggers has done it.
Yeah.
So.
I would,
It's a special event.
I would think, I don't know, because I don't go to raves like I used to, right? But, I would,
I just got the visual.
right, yeah. The glow sticks and all that. I would think there would be a certain natural level of noise where it becomes enjoyable
Right,
to the people attending.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, most people are reasonable and rational. You have some that, you know, you give them an inch, they're
right.
a ruler. But in most cases, I think people won't take advantage. And if they do, then law enforcement will handle it, right, Chief?
You have any input, Chief? It's Friday at 6.
I don't even know where we are right now.
Okay.
You tell me what to do, we'll do it.
Fair enough.
I think too that because council has to approve, if we see a repeat offender that's abusing the
Voila.
special event, you know, then
That's a
we can.
great point. Yeah.
And again, I think the whole idea of the special event, you're allowing, there's some reason that you're gonna allow some slightly louder conditions, you know, but again, you know, with our approval, and if someone's abusing it, then.
Right.
So.
And part of the ordinance does read that as part of the application for the special event, that you have to provide at what times of the day the noise will be plainly audible on an adjoining or neighboring property. And again, this is only for 6 times a year. That's the limitation on the private property special event, is 6 times a year. So if we wanted to limit the noise, I think we could do it by providing it can only be plainly audible on an adjoining property. If we did not want to limit it in that way, then we can leave it as it is, where it's going to be plainly audible on an adjoining property or a neighboring property. But that's really up to you.
Sticking point for you, Doug, a little bit. You good with it?
I just want to make sure we're all clear on what we're approving, because the question has come up as to what the limit is.
No, that's fair.
So I just wanted clarity. Julie brings up a good point. It comes to council now. It is going to continue to come to council for permit approval, and each one, and we will take into account past behavior. It's very simple. And if it is an issue and they call IPD and it's unreasonable, to your point, they will take action.
All right, so we already did everything, right? So we had the motion, we had the second, we had discussion, public comment. All right. All of those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-11 relating to application for an application for and issuance of a permit for special events on private and public property, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, moving on. We're done. Hit me up later. Wait, it's as written, so you're good, Whitney.
Well, without the may be approved by the town manager.
Oh, right. All right, moving on. 2026-12, first reading, public hearing relating to prohibited uses in the C and C1 commercial districts. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending sections 113-336, subsection 3 of Indialantic zoning code relating to prohibited uses in C and C1 commercial districts, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. All right, so this is the first reading of this.
Second.
That's only the second.
That's third.
That's the third.
Oh, it was tabled the first time. That's right. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so the reason we're having another first reading is because the town clerk astutely recognized that it has to go to zoning. Is that correct?
Correct. And it has the legal requirements for advertising and notifications are different with the zoning amendment versus the regular ordinance.
All right, so we're going to have a first reading again, and then it's going to go to zoning and planning, correct?
Yep, on the 28th of July.
Okay, and then it'll come back to us in August, and that will be the second reading, and we'll be done with it, in theory.
In theory.
Got it. All right. So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-12.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion from council?
Go ahead. I'm happy with it.
Okay. Carrie?
I continue to struggle with this because we have some cases that are continuing to occur for outdoor farmers markets, parties, et cetera, that are clearly a violation today. And I think it would be, even with this, it would still be a violation, and it just doesn't seem to matter. So I just have some concerns about what we're allowing.
Just so this, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so, kind of what I think what you're picking at, Carrie, is that some of those activities do not fit under the activities that are directly related to the type of business that's being operated currently at that location. Regardless of whether it's permitted or not permitted currently, that if you had a farmer's market after this ordinance passes in September, there is no grocery store there or produce market that would align with holding a farmer's market, at least in my mind. Is that what you're picking at? 'Cause what the attempt is here by aligning it with the business type, specifically the business license, that it has to be, there's outdoor seating, there's an art walk, if you will, there's, pick your coffee shop, what have you. But if they're gonna do something adjacent but not directly related to their business, that's not allowed under this activity. Are we going to enforce it as a town? Is that?
I think what you're saying is that it's not allowed now and it's still happening, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, we've been talking about this since like
Right.
April. So I think what we're doing is we're trying to take a business, an existing business, and help, and, not that we govern just for one business, but, there are activities going on right now that the community appreciates, and I don't know if they appreciate all the activities, but they're trying to be compliant, and so that's what we've been trying to work towards. So I think I mentioned this last month with your concern, because you said that there are a lot of parking, too much parking, on the streets or whatever for the farmer's market, say. To me, that's like, are we going to disallow that for other businesses that might have a special event? Like when Cottage Rose has something and they have overflowing parking, like, is that a different issue? Is it the same issue? Maybe there's a smaller gathering, should that not be allowed? Are we gonna assume all the gatherings? I mean, I'm just talking here, but I think, my opinion is that we have enough people, specifically talking about Casa Bonita, that appreciate what's going on. It's a community-friendly gathering spot. If they need to issue and get a business license that says that, so that it matches along with the ordinance. I think my opinion is that it's fair and it's a good business. I stand by that. I think it's
Mr. Mayor?
a favorable business for Indialantic.
I think you're talking about two different things, because they'd be allowed 6 special events, so that's a special event. If they're having something like that, and they want to have a farmer's market, they can need a special event permit, because we're not saying that has to be tied to the business. But when they're doing like a wedding event, and it's not tied to anything there, not licensed, business tax or license, and then that would fall under usages. They're doing right now, no outdoor activity is allowed in C1 or C2. So this ordinance is just dealing with allowing outside business activity. So that'd be the normal day-to-day operations if they have the wine bar outside.
Right.
And I'm trying not to pick on one, but I'm just saying in circumstances. They're licensed for the wine bar, but they're not supposed to be outside. So this would cover that stuff. If they had things outside of what their business licenses allowed, that'd be a special event, have to do the 30-day thing and do the whole thing, and they'd only be allowed, 6 times a year, and have to meet the requirement of the previous red ordinance for special events.
Right.
Does that help clarify?
Well, we keep revisiting what they're doing wrong now, and that, you have a business that wants to come into compliance, and you're right, so the farmer's market, that would still be a special event because it's outside of.
The business license.
Or is that just because of noise?
No, it's the business license. There's nothing that matches that business license.
Right.
That's the whole reason on that.
Yeah, this outdoor business activity exception, it's a very, very narrow exception. It has to be within an enclosed area, such as a courtyard or a fenced-in area. It has to be directly related to that business. It can't be in a parking lot, and it has to comply with all the other town code, all the other aspects of the town's code, and it has to comply with the noise ordinance, and that's what's in there as well. So we're really kind of talking about, I think, we're talking about two different things, like Mike said. I mean, the farmer's market scenario is a special event versus this is, a business operating every day, but if they're able to do something in an enclosed courtyard or an enclosed fenced-in area that's directly related, they're not using the parking lot, and they're not violating any noise ordinance, then that's something they can do every day.
Right. But like right now, if they're having yoga under the tree, that's against town code currently, because you're not allowed to outboard businesses. Are we going to, does council not believe that that little business in a courtyard should be able to have a yoga class that's quiet with some moms with strollers? I mean, I'm just trying to understand, like, I thought we've been progressing this whole time to try to make something fair. And mind you, if property tax passes and our municipality diminishes or gets smaller, we're going to be absorbed by county. And if we're never going to do anything for a business to be successful in our town that we actually can have a say in, then, what else is going to come in there? Do you want to lean it to going out of business so that 7-Eleven can come in eventually? I'm just saying, like, to me, like, we should be actively trying to help a business that is a nice, family-oriented business that's not doing anything outrageous. And if there's some parameters that we need to put in place, I just think that.
But what about this ordinance doesn't meet what you're talking about?
I think it does. I'm just saying,
Okay.
I know, I'm just saying I'm supportive of it, and I would hope that we don't make it so difficult, And I've heard that. If you've ever gone to a lot of businesses in Indialantic, hair salons or whatever, it's not an easy process. There's a lot of complaints on, from the attitude they get at the desk to whatever. And it's like, why do we want to be that way? Like, we should be supportive. Our role in government is for the people, by the people. We're not some, governing body that's above them. We're here to help have a little town and have things that we want. And so I just want us to be agreeable to, let's not make it so difficult.
I agree with you. However, I don't think it's a good idea to mold an ordinance around one business. So I'm taking in the totality of all of the businesses that are C1 and C2. So someone has already followed suit with something that wasn't permitted that one entity did, and we heard the video, or we heard the audio tonight. So someone right up the street has already said, okay, well, they're doing it, so now I'm gonna do it. So now we have the unintended consequence, perhaps, of having to be bogged down with complaints. Now, mind you, this is also nestled in a heavily residential area too, which is where I live on north of Fifth Avenue. So I want to be careful how we proceed, because we do have residents that are literally a stone's throw away. So when we have events that aren't necessarily sanctioned that could be, that follow suit, then we have two businesses on 4th Avenue that can have large-scale events that they don't have the parking to cover, so they will park wherever they go. So I'm just trying to make it fair for everyone in this town, and also support the small businesses that we have here, which I do, and also be considerate of the neighbors as well. So I'm just trying to find a balance.
John, you got anything?
No, just what Carrie said, balance, yeah.
Anything else, Doug?
No, I'm good with this as written. We just,
Yeah. I think, I'm hoping anyway. I mean, I'm good with the way it's written, but to Carrie's point, I think it comes down to an enforcement thing, after that. So if we're working with people, and if it's not stuck to, what we have here, then we look at enforcement.
Yeah, and I would say that I would think there's some bearing on our code enforcement. If we have a business application and it's unclear, like what happened with the Indie Yard, why is it not clearly defined, the business? And if it is against it, why isn't it dealt with in a timely manner? It is a little bit frustrating to say that, why does this just go on and on and on? And then, what's happening over at BB? And then council, we get to repeat it, like John's frustration, I know. It's like we get this coming of it, and it comes down to code enforcement. And so, if it should be black and white, and we don't have any gray areas, And so I would, it would be nice that, that even when you're filling out the application for a business license, let's make sure that it is what the intent is. But again, as I mentioned last month, a business that rents a property should, in my opinion, it should have the right to evolve. If it's, again, something that's, pleasant in the community, then, and it is not so far reaching, then I think that they shouldn't be confined.
Public comment. Sherry.
Sherry Ledoux, 419 3rd Avenue. This is a general question. I don't know if you've thought of this. After all the work you've done with all these ordinances, when everything is said and done and all approved, are the businesses in the area gonna be told, here's a new ordinance, please make sure that you abide by these new rules?
I don't think generally we notify businesses, right?
There's no legal requirement to do that.
And
if you want to, as a matter of policy, it's something that you could do.
And Mike, we haven't done that in the past, right?
We haven't done it in the past, and you gotta think, we're allowing something more than they were allowed before.
Yeah.
So right now, they're not allowed to do any activity outside.
No, I mean, actually, I mean, that, I understand that. And really, you're just talking about a couple of businesses, so, word of mouth or, a heads up. But really, the noise ordinance is what I'm talking about, because that's kind of really going from here down to here on those noise ordinances.
Yeah.
Plus, it's so specific to it has to be in a courtyard enclosed area, which.
And you can only do it this many days for these times.
Right.
And
That's the noise, right?
Yeah, that's for the special events, yes.
And-
Or the outside, for the outside thing? No, they're not.
No, not that necessarily. I'm really more concerned with the noise, because some businesses, it's not for a lot of them, but some businesses
Yeah.
are gonna be really, taken aback.
Yeah, on that.
Well, it's actually expanding.
Right.
Well, I think it could, to the concern of the residents, we could certainly draft a summary of the changes so that it's clear and obvious, and that can be provided to businesses either at request or.
Maybe like a postcard, here's our website, click here, click there, and these are our new, something like that. I don't know.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
Whenever we do these ordinances, they're posted on the website, they're posted on the boards. If you get notifications, they're sent out multiple times in agenda packets. They're in the newspaper. And as a general ruling, unless something is so totally egregious and the police officers or code enforcement goes out there, the first time is a warning. I think what you're asking is somewhat burdensome for the amount of ordinances that we pass and having to figure out what businesses they apply to and stuff like that. And I don't feel that would put the town in a good position.
Fair enough. All right. Whitney.
If we do pass something, can the police department get a copy of it though? When it's
Talk to
Have the police department hand deliver the notice.
Yeah, talk to staff.
I heard that.
Yeah. Whitney.
Do I need to introduce myself
Yeah.
again? Whitney Bobbitt, 11th Avenue, 142 11th Avenue. I sympathize with y'all. This is a tough problem to solve, especially the town attorneys trying to come up with one single set of guidelines that's going to cover every business. I've looked at every business in Indialantic, and there's very few that actually have the conditions that we're talking about setting up these ordinances for. There's like 5 places where people can go outside and make noise. I don't believe, I've tried very hard to come up with a single way, like you are, to have legal language to cover it. I think it's impossible. And the reason is, when you look at Indy Yard, they're right up against somebody. If you look at Casa Bonita, they have completely different conditions where, and it puts the police in a horrible position. I've been to several events there, and the police have a job. They're going to serve the law, and the law is very subjective, and they're going to err on the side of caution. And so when I talked to the officer, there was no complaints. You could hear the music across the street to an adjoining property. So I would challenge you, the attorney here, or anybody else on the board, take some of the special event requests that have been through, like Long Doggers. That would never work. You're never going to not get an adjoining property or a property after an adjoining property not to hear that noise. It's never going to, they're always going to violate it. Almost every special event that has amplified music is going to violate your new law. And you put the police in a position of having to get in front of businesses and locals and make them look bad to operate a law that doesn't work. So I came in here somewhat optimistic, thinking that there were some changes that was separated the special events from the noise and allow certain things to be like allowed. And I appreciate your comments about the people and about putting power to the businesses here, independent of whether or not the property taxes get taken away. But I don't think if you take the last 5 or 10 special events and run them through this process, I think every one of them are going to violate it with amplified music based on the way you have it written. And so let me just finish up and summarize. I don't know how you're not going to get around putting in special variances for these businesses that want to be treated uniquely. I think that's the only solution. There's 4 or 5, maybe 6 businesses that could submit a variance, and based on their unique place within the town, which is far different between Casa Bonita and Indy Yard. Night and day between those two. Those are the 2 tough ones you can't possibly mitigate through single laws. And with that, I'll sign off.
Thank you.
I want to clarify something that was said, because I think what was said about the special event is incorrect, because we had some discussion about the private special events, which could be 6 times a year, and there was a discussion whether or not that the plainly audible sound could be heard on adjoining property or neighboring property, and we decided to keep that in there because it was recognized that a special event would be louder. So a special event, as the ordinance is written, would permit that type of noise on an adjoining property or neighboring property. It doesn't forbid it. So if there was a misunderstanding about that, I just wanted to be clear, because I think that was probably the biggest point of contention or the biggest debate that we had about that. And as it was passed, on private property, 6 times a year, you can have plainly audible noise on an adjoining property and a neighboring property.
And also, just for, real quick, for everyone's knowledge, you can't get a variance for zoning, correct?
Right.
Okay, I was just making sure. Anything else? Any other public comment? Carly?
Carly Senegoy, 113 Franklin Ave, Indialantic. Hi. So I have a question about the farmer's market thing. So in my yard, if I have the tents, if you guys have seen it, I've had some tents outside. Everybody under those tents are vendors of mine inside my business. It's my honey girl that I use honey for my coffee. It's the bread girl and the baker. It's the vintage clothes girl and her home decor stuff, my clothing that's in there, and that's it. And so I'm wondering, are we supposed to do a special event permit if we just want to have a little farmer's market with our own stuff outside?
How does that work?
Well, I don't know exactly where she would have it. Is it within an enclosed area?
It's in the grassy
Yes.
area. It's
Yeah,
enclosed
so there's
by Kalusia and fences.
Yeah, there's a building on Riverside, and then there's a parking lot, and there's a fence, right?
It's not in the parking lot.
No,
No,
and then there's a fence with a courtyard.
It's inside, so I think I'm
There's,
good.
it's within a
in the
fenced
courtyard.
area. Because as it reads, you can have these outdoor business activities
Yeah.
as long as they're within an enclosed outdoor area, like a courtyard or a fenced-in yard.
Yeah.
They have to be directly related to your type of business, which
Right.
from what I'm hearing, they are.
Yeah.
They're not being done in a parking lot or a parking area, and you'd still have to adhere to the noise ordinances. So based on that, the outdoor business activities, as it reads, that seems like it would be acceptable.
Yeah, so I don't.
Yeah.
Mike,
No, and say, yeah, and if it's unrelated to that type of business, I'm not saying like you've all of a sudden, say you're having vegetables and fruits being sold out there. That's not part of your license for as a retail, that type of retail for the food.
So
But if it's
I
something
want-
related to there, but I've seen events at your place that aren't in that courtyard, so you need to make sure everything's in a courtyard. If it was outside of there, you need a special event permit.
When I
'cause-
had the girl with the watermelons.
Well, no, you had other people around the front and the side on Riverside and things a few times. So that would need a special event because you're not inside. This is saying you
Okay,
have to be
I'll
in that
keep it
fenced
in the
area
yard.
related to that.
Okay.
And you
And
don't
what
have
about
any
the
amplified music
yoga
permits.
thing?
Carly,
with the-
we'll take that offline, and if you want to wait till after the meeting, we can straighten
Talk
all that
about
out.
everything?
Yeah. Or, I know I talked with Whitney today, about business licenses, and we can figure all that out to make sure you're on the up and up.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right. Anyone else? All right. So we had a motion and a second to approve the first reading related to prohibited uses in the C and C1 commercial districts, correct? That's what we've done so far and talked about it? Huh? And we did public comment. All right, perfect. I hate to ask this, but anything else from you guys? Okay. All those in favor of approving 2026-12 first reading relating to prohibited uses in the C and C1 commercial districts, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed.
I quit agreeing on.
All right. Ordinance 2026-13, second reading, final public hearing related to application fees of special events and ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending sections 8-7 of the town of Indialantic Code of Ordinances relating to application fees for the special event permits, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-13.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Comments from council?
Unchanged from last reading, so
Nothing changed, right?
No.
I'm good with it.
No changes. Down the line, we're all good? Public comment? All right, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-13, which is the second reading relating to application fees and special events, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, item number 7, approve resolution 11-2026A or 11-2026B, establishing a fee schedule for special event applications. This is the first time we're talking about this, right?
But it's a resolution, so
Right.
this is a one-time thing.
Yep, good. Mike, did you want to mention anything about this?
Yeah, all we're looking at is because there's a lot of staff time involved, and that's why the events vary, and we're asking for, like, on public property, how many people are there, like, everybody's got to touch it on staff, all the department heads and everything else, if it's on town property. It takes a lot more work to make sure, and, organizing with like a run where it takes the police, and we have road closures and stuff, so it varies on every project, but a special event for like a private property doesn't take as much staff time and things. It takes, receiving it and then going through all the departments, but it's not as long and in depth.
Okay. Comment from council? We're good at it?
Both of them say public, doesn't
And I would just add, there's 2 proposed resolutions. Both of them have an exception for a 501c3, but one of them provides only the exception for 501c3s that are located within the town. That's the only difference.
And
between
that would be B.
No, that's A, and then B is the exact same one, except it provides for an exception for 501(c)(3)s, but it doesn't have to be inside the town. So that's the only distinction. Yeah.
A is just within the town.
Yeah, I know, Molly, you talked about this. Do you have a preference?
Yeah.
Just getting feedback from other municipalities that offer similar things, that it's advisable, I was told, to just do the 501(c)(3)s within our town because of the large number of them, and it becomes burdensome once they realize that. And I mean, the point is to benefit our town.
Right. Okay. Comment from council?
I'm good with what Molly said. I respect it.
All right. Public comments? Sweet. All right. Approve. All those in favor of approving resolution, do we want to go with A or B? Inside town or outside town for the 501(c)(3)s?
inside, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
A.
Yeah, so A. So we need a motion to approve 1126, or 2026A, so. A, sorry, yeah, 2026A, so.
I make a motion to approve resolution 11-2026A.
All those in favor of approving resolution 11-2026A, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, all right. We have no unfinished business. New business, town manager evaluation.
So my town manager evaluation is due in July of every year based upon when I was hired for this position. And I sent it out to all of council who got them all back to me. And I went through and I averaged the scores. I had Molly double check the numbers, so I'm not there. And there's a sheet that shows everybody's scores where they're at, or they didn't observe anything. And the average turned out to be 2.75%, or I'm sorry, the average turned to be a 4.38 out of 5. And it's the same as general employees. All the employees, police, fire, everybody in the town has a merit system, and it's from 1 to 3%. And I'm asking for a 2.75 based on that range.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the town's manager evaluation, approving a 2.75% merit increase.
I'll second it.
Should we take into account the homestead that's possibly coming our way? Because you might be getting a pay cut, Mike.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon. Any comments from council?
I mean, I'll speak for myself, sure echo the comments of everyone else, but Mike continues to do a great job for our town, and we appreciate all you do and your openness and communication and leadership, so, and your knowledge and hard work. So, greatly appreciate you. Town is better for it and for you.
Thank you. I thank you all for your evaluations. And let you know, the Rockledge city manager is retiring. That would make me the most senior city manager in the county, or town manager.
That means you're the oldest.
December.
You're old, yeah.
You're the oldest. Yeah.
So,
I'll add on to
I haven't
Doug. You're
expired
no
yet.
Paul Googleman, but you're all right.
yeah.
Yeah, everything that Doug said, and appreciate the communication, after hours, all that stuff. Thank you.
I think you do a great job, and thank goodness for our town clerk. She continues to make you look really good.
I rely on her.
5 out of 5.
Oh, and she was named Employee of the Quarter, too, by the way. I wasn't to give that in my report, but I recognize her.
All right. Any public comment? Oh, Julie, you got something?
I just was going to recommend a decrease because he goes on too many cruises. No.
I'm going to
He's clearly overpaid.
He didn't bring us back anything.
He's like a
Yeah, not like I'm going to Italy or
No,
anything.
I thank you, Mike, for your service to our town. You do a great job.
Public comment. All right, all those in favor of approving the town manager's evaluation and 2.75% merit increase, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. All right, we have RVI, planning services related to the comprehensive plan update.
So our comp plan amendment has been out of date, so we have to update it with the state. We're required to. There's been a lot of statute changes and things to come in compliance, and our previous planner had retired and is no longer doing it. He's the one that done all our previous ones. So we went to RFP, which we're required to for a planner to complete our comp plan amendments and updates. And we received 3 in time. We received 1 after the date, so we didn't open that one. And as you see, they varied in price. The most expensive one was $123,500, which that one just shocked me overall. And the lowest one was $34,974. But after we reviewed everything and looked at them and stuff, RVI was at $40,000, but they met the requirements and was recommended by the evaluation board, which was me, Molly, and Cliff, and our planner and advisor was in here too. They were currently working with Indian Harbor Beach, had a lot of familiarity with Brevard County. For example, we have we have to report on our water system type of thing. Well, we don't have one. Melbourne has our water and the county has our sewer. They've done the same thing in Harbor Beach. So that's already, they've already done that part. So we feel comfortable. They're out of Orlando, but they deal a lot here locally and stuff. And I believe there's somebody here from the company.
Oh.
If you want to hear from them.
Sure. If I knew that, we would have put you at the beginning.
Yeah, sorry.
Make us see how much money they want the contract. They want to stay around.
Thank you. Erica Hughes with RVI Planning and Landscape Architecture, 111 North Magnolia, Suite 1350, Orlando, Florida. We're really excited to be here. We're looking forward to working with y'all and staff. Like Mike has said, we are really familiar in the Brevard County area. We currently work not only with Indian Harbor Beach, but we are also working with the City of Cocoa, and we have updated their comp plan. Successfully did not get any challenges with the state, and they've adopted it, and we just transmitted Indian Harbor Beach this week. So we're looking forward to working with y'all, and just thank you. And if you have any questions, I'll be, available for that.
Any questions right now?
Right now, no.
All right.
Looks good, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else to add, Mike?
No.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the RVI?
I'll make a motion to approve the wording of the update to the comprehensive plan to RVI.
Second.
All right. Public comment? Sweet. All right. All those in favor of approving RVI for the update to the comprehensive plan, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, there you go. Now that you stuck around for the whole meeting, we only got one item left. But you can go if you want.
I just asked her, wait a second. We're almost done.
All right, proposed fiscal year 26-27 millage rate of 6.1959 and budget hearing dates.
Yeah. We're asking for a budget of 6.1959, which is less than last year. It's a 5% raise over the rollback rate. It still makes Indialantic the third lowest as a full-time police and fire in the county millage rate. And even with that, we had to struggle about almost close to like $400,000 or $500,000 based on just what the costs are for employees. Most of our costs are salary driven and insurances are going up and things like that. So that's why we're recommending that 6.1959 as the millage rate. We can never go higher. We could always go lower, but we've got a budget worked out with that, which was very difficult. So if something happens in the future, yeah, it's not good. Whatever happened to the election with numbers and stuff.
Right.
But with this, it'll fund everything. We're not laying any employees off. We're keeping everything funded to the parks and stuff in this budget as we currently have that.
For everyone's knowledge, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but the rollback rate is the rate that would generate the same amount of income as the previous year based on the current property value.
Correct.
Okay.
Rollback rate is, yeah, they just figure you get the exact same dollar amount in ad valorem taxes.
Right.
And unfortunately, we're not like some other cities that have water and other things. You know, our 4.4 million proposed in this is, of our $6 million budget, that's 4.4. We get very other little fees and everything else and from everything else.
Right.
So it's highly relied upon that.
Right. And we're legally allowed to go to 10% over the rollback rate.
Yes.
But you're asking for 5.
For 5%. And it's not a lot different in our budget. We're talking like $200,000, something like $230,000, $240,000 difference.
Over last year.
Yeah, over last year. So it's not like we're going to see millions of dollars. That's why we really went through and we cut pretty sharp this year.
Gotcha. All right. Is there a motion?
I have a question.
Okay.
Or do we need a motion before we talk about
We can do whatever.
I just was curious on how it factored in the savings that we're having from moving the communications department out. It was pretty big savings, so.
Yeah, we'd be asking for the 10%. So payroll for the police and the sworn officers have gone up high and the personnel. So by the time we eliminated the cost from dispatch, we were only talking, if we look from last year to this year with all the rates because of insurance, workers' comp, and everything else, we're only about $20,000 less than we were last year. But then we added $40,000 in operational expenses for the police to cover their portion of the consolidated dispatch. So it wasn't like, it saved us, because it saved us from having to cut other things like, you know, some capital items like road paving this year and things like that. But it didn't really, it kind of washed out with all the cost.
I could just see a taxpayer asking.
Yeah.
5% up? Shouldn't we?
Well, we're still at a lower millage rate than last year.
Yeah, we're lower millage rate than last year. And like I said, you know, if you're looking at everybody else, they're high, except for two other municipalities, Rockledge and Cocoa Beach. Cocoa Beach is 6.1644, and ours is 6.1959. So we're number 3. And that's what, like I said, you know, you're looking at the fire department personnel. We're like at $1 million just in personnel costs almost. And so we're like 1.2. With the police, it's like 2.4 million, I think. And we're like at 3.1 million. So that's 5 million of our budget right there almost, or close to 4.5 to 5 million. So you see with all the other costs and stuff. So that's where our public safety is our big cost in our budget.
Yep. All right. Any other public comment? Or how about a motion? I said public comment. I meant comment from council, but let's get a motion out of the way.
I'll make a motion. Well, do you want to talk about the dates real quick too as well? I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the proposed millage rate as well as the budget hearing dates for fiscal year 2027, setting the millage rate at 6.1959 mils.
All right, is there a second?
I think we need 2 separate motions for that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you did. Actually, you know what? It's like somebody wrote that down in the notes and I didn't read it. I will make a motion to set the proposed millage rate for fiscal year 2027 to 6.1959 mils.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any other comments from council? Public comment? All right, all those in favor of approving the fiscal year 2020 or 26-27 millage rate of 6.1959, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right, and the budget hearing dates, it looks like August 12th. That's before the August council meeting, correct?
Correct.
September 9th at 6 and September 21st at 5:30.
Correct. This 9th is, that's a council meeting also that night.
Oh, good. That makes life
And then
easy.
the Monday, the 21st is, of course, we're stuck on those kind of dates because we can't do it when the county does theirs, or we had to wait to see when the county's doing their final and all this other stuff. We're really tied into dates there. And then the budget committee meets, like the 28th of this month. At the end of July, they're meeting.
Okay.
So, and the budget's been finalized and we're just piecing it together. So you all, in the next couple of weeks, should have it.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Proposed.
Do you have a motion for the budget hearing dates?
I'll make a motion to approve workshop and hearing dates for budget adoption. Council budget workshop on Wednesday, August 12th, 2026 at 5 p.m. First public hearing on Wednesday, September 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Second public hearing on Monday, September 21st, 2026 at 5:30 p.m.
I'll second.
Any comments from council? Public comment?
How late can these dates be set out? You said October is like a.
No, it has to be before October. That's why the 21st.
So
Yeah,
we
but
can't
Diego,
know anything.
we need your
about-
name and address.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Diogo Drados, 420 11th Ave. So we can't know anything about like the November election results before.
No.
So
No.
what is our, like, how do we pivot at that point?
Fiscal year starts October 1st, right?
Yeah, so this wouldn't go into effect till next fiscal year,
Okay.
the ordinance,
The ordinance doesn't go into
not the
27.
state statute.
The state
amendment.
Yeah, so taxes are going to remain the same through 2027.
Yeah,
Correct.
it would remain the same through this whole budget that we're processing.
Mm.
It would be the next budget cycle where that would come up if if it passed or didn't pass.
Yeah. And once a budget is set, like how much can you underspend a budget legally?
How much do what?
Can you underspend a budget and shore up reserves? Like,
We have pretty good on reserves.
yeah, but I just mean like we would know
It's-
with almost a whole year ahead of time. Like, is that?
It's not,
don't have
I
that
think
much.
what you're asking, there's not enough, like, if we went to the max millage rate, we're not going to save enough to like fund the town for another
No.
Yeah.
year.
there's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering on timing.
Yeah.
Well, and timing, we wouldn't have the time, and we've been putting money aside, and that's how we've been paying for some of these road projects and paving and stuff, so we're not hitting the daily, small budget, like I said, we had, 8 million a couple years ago, we had a lot of money in reserves that we earmarked for projects like a fire truck, and different things, and now we're down in the 6.5 range, and we have some money moving cash forward and stuff like that, as you just saw in what I put in there. But it's kind of hard. Like, we have to hold so much in operating. We have like $3 million sitting there, but it's to cover unpaid sick leave. We have to have at least a minimum of 2 months of operational expense. That means payroll and all the cost. So that's just $3 million right there to cover these fees that we have to keep in there by the auditors.
But, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other public comment? All right, all those in favor of approving the budget hearing dates, say aye.
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 All opposed? Nobody. All right, wrapping it up. Matt, anything to report?
Yeah, real quickly, and it kind of ties into what we were just talking about, an update on the property tax reform lawsuit that my firm filed. There's a substantive hearing on July 29th in Tallahassee on that. Not sure how long it'll take the court to rule after that. If the court does rule in our favor, our argument being that the ballot as it's currently written is biased and factually inaccurate, by statute, the Attorney General would then have 10 days after the judge's ruling to rewrite it. At that point, the court would look at it again, see if it's acceptable, or we could potentially appeal it at that point. And that's on July 29th. It's hard to say how long the judge might take to rule after that hearing. But, at a certain point, the November election, I believe it's on the 4th. At a certain point, they'd either have to get the ballot right or not, because they got to start printing those things. So I will let you know in August how that goes. And again, as I mentioned at the last meeting and in my email to town council, that was something that my firm filed pro bono, so there's no cost to the town.
Cool, thank you. Mike, anything to report?
Nope, just like Molly wasn't the employee of the quarter based upon all the great stuff she does, and right now she's going through all the findings or finding all the records requests for this lawsuit, and at one point she was at 400,000 emails, so it's quite extensive in things and other things she's been doing, and she'll be doing great while I'm gone, and she can reach me. I'll still have my emails. I'll be checking. I'd let the IT people know I was traveling, so they don't lock me.
Yeah, good idea.
So, yeah, with that, like I said, if Molly knows how to reach me or anything, it happens and stuff like that.
Okay, I have nothing to report, I don't think. Doug?
Other than just say, thanks for a good, safe 4th of July. Other than that, nothing else. Thank you.
John?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Carrie?
We did not have South Beaches Coalition meeting nor a Space Coast TPO, so I had an easy month and an easy week this week. I also wanted to remark on a comment that was made about somebody's going to die on A1A. Just so everybody knows, 2 people have died on A1A, one last year and one this year, and it had absolutely nothing to do with any business that is running in this town. So one was at a crosswalk, and it was just a tragic accident, and it was an elderly man, and did his dog die too? The dog did not die. And the second one was a bicyclist that was improperly crossing A1A and was struck by a truck, and that was also a tragic day. It actually happened right in front of the Nautilus business, which I believe was the woman that was commenting. So people have died, and it doesn't have anything to do with any businesses, and I just kind of wanted to say that. So thank you.
Julie?
Nothing to report.
All right, thanks for coming.